Portals and pages. When we open a portal or a page, we can see we can create a different design for large, small, or medium devices. And the same thing happens when we're designing a form or other different interfaces that we have in the platform. So we can create one unique interface for all three devices, or what sometimes is more convenient is to create a copy of one of the interfaces. Maybe we created one for a large screen or a computer, and then we can copy it and we can adjust it for a smaller device. We're going to see how to customize the portal and a page so it's properly displayed on a small phone. The first thing we need to take into account is that when we're in a larger device, when we click on the options, we want the content to be displayed here on the central frame. But when we go to smaller device, we need to allow the user to jump from this window here or from this screen here to this other screen here, because it doesn't all fit on the same screen. For example, here we have all the main options or the main menu of the platform. And when I click on my tasks or when I click on any of these options, I want it to open it substituting the content that I already have. So here, for example, when I click on start, it would take me to the screen. And when I click on this other button, it would take me back to the previous window. This time I can jump back from where I am to the previous content I already had. So in larger screens, the links are going to open on a central frame. And on smaller screens, the link is going to open in the same window or the same browser. When the users are in the page, they can always roll back to the portal by clicking on the button. Besides, on a small device, it's very convenient to design everything so it's adjusted according to the screen size, the screen width. I'm going to enter the application and we're going to see how to create this from structure. All we have to do first is go to Portals and see how our portal has been designed. So I click here. We can see I have a vertical frame with all these different options. If I go to horizontal frame, in this case we don't really have anything here. And when I go to central frame, I can see the central frame is visible. So what's the result? We have a central frame and we have a vertical frame. And whenever we click on a button, we can see in the configuration, the content is going to be displayed in the frame. We can see it here. So it takes me to my tasks, but it shows my tasks inside of this frame. Now let's see what happens with the configuration for the mobile device. Well, on the other hand, we can also see here on the larger screens, we want to show the button panel with a certain size. So the size here is 200 pixels. But when I go to the smaller device configuration, we can see everything is responsive, everything is adaptive. And when I click, for example, here on central frame, we can see the central frame is not visible. And this is because the central frame wouldn't fit in such a small device. Or we'd have to see a horizontal scroll and that wouldn't be very comfortable. So we go to the vertical frame. Here we can see the content. Here we can see the horizontal frame with all of its content. And when we enter the configuration of the button panel, it's practically the same as the previous one, but with a difference that here, when we click on one of these buttons, the content is open on the same browser. So instead of showing the content in the central frame, we're showing it in the same browser. So here we have the different or specific configurations and settings that we've made in a smaller resolution or in a smaller device design. And now we're going to the page. So we already saw the small differences between the portal for larger devices and for smaller devices. And now we're going to see the same thing when it comes to pages. So I'm going to open this page, this one here. So we have the view for larger devices where we have some welcome text, some announcements, and so on. If I click here on preview, I can see the result. So this is adaptive, but it's adaptive to a certain extent. It's only designed really for larger devices, okay? So it can adapt a little bit. Even this content can be pushed downwards. So if we make it too small and it doesn't fit, the content can be pushed downwards. But it's not meant to be used on very small devices. So what we've done here we've gone to small, and we've designed it a little bit differently for smaller devices. If I click here on preview, we can see the result. Everything appears, well, one thing appears on top of another, and we've got most of the same features. We can see this in how it would look like more or less on a small device. So this would be the page, how it looks like on a small device. And obviously we needed to create a button to go back to the main menu or to go back to the portal. So we're going to see here, if I go to home, well, when I open several views, sometimes it gets mixed up. So I need to update here. I'm going to make this smaller and I'm going to update so we can see how it would look on a mobile phone. So here we have the options. This is more or less how it would look like on a mobile phone. Obviously a mobile phone is even more narrow. So this would, since it's adaptive, this text would come up over here. And if I go, for example, to home, it shows me my home page, but with this different look and feel that we've designed for smaller devices. So once I'm here, I can always roll back by clicking on this button, and it takes me back to this menu. Exercise 405, Part 1.